Hey, you guys, welcome to tonight's Team Zoom. It is, August. It's April 17th, 2018, and we have a really cool call tonight. This is going to be a little bit different, but we have four powerhouse women that just returned from a conference in Las Vegas, and they came back ready to conquer the world, you guys. And you know, I don't know about you, but I'm kind of hoping that what they caught in Vegas is contagious because I want some of what they got. Now, I wouldn't normally say that about somebody just returning from Vegas, that's for sure. But you guys, they came back on fire. I want their energy. I want their knowledge. I want their posture. And I just want their knowing. They know something that we don't know. They've got something that we don't have now that they just returned. So normally we say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, but tonight we're going to pry some information out of them and see if we can pick their brains and see how much they're going to be willing to share with us about what they experienced this weekend. And I'm not going to take up any more of your time. I'm just going to turn this over to BettyAnne Chulumovich. Most of you know her as a platinum D2. She's not only a blonde bombshell, but she's a brilliant recruiter and leader in this industry. And I'm just so happy to also say, you know, call her a friend. I've got to know her over the last 6 months or so. So I'm going to turn over to BettyAnne, and she's going to guide you through this call and introduce our special speakers tonight. So thank you, BettyAnne, for taking the time to do this.
Oh, it's my privilege. I'm so honored to be on this call with you beautiful ladies. And what I just want to say is one of the most important parts about this industry is, you know, you always hear about these big leaders that make, you know, $1 million, and you think, wow, if I could ever just sit in a room with $1 million. Can you guys hear me? Am I on? Okay, good. But you know, when Anna called me, I'll be straight up honest. She called me and said, you know, would you like to go to the Worry Women's networking convention, and it was really not the right time for me. I had already kind of pre-planned that my daughter and I were going to go on this little 1-week trip to Cabo, mom and daughter quality time, and I was trying to wrap my brain around how I was going to, number one, tell my boyfriend that I was going to be gone for 2 weeks, and then have an event when we came back. And number two, I was thinking financially, it's kind of like, I don't really know if I really want to do this right now. But, you know, every once in a while, that thing hits you in the head and you're like, you know what? Sometimes you think you can't really afford to do something, but then you realize I could not afford to not do this. I had to go. And when Anna says, you need to go, I've just learned with her, I'm just going to listen to what the big boss says because she knew what I needed to hear. And boy, I mean, I am so excited. I've been around some really big companies and done some really amazing meetings and seen some amazing people, but I have never been in a room with so much greatness. Right from Margie to Anna to the women on that panel to Sarah Zalecki to Donna Stewart, who I just absolutely adore. And this is one thing I've learned about women that have made money in this industry. They become experts at forming people. And what I mean by that is when Anna Woodward says, I want you to meet this woman, I think you're going to really connect with her. She knows what she's talking about because you become an expert at forming people. And you get to know people. The more people you sign up in your business, the more you get to learn what people's personalities are like. And boy, did she hit it on the head. This Donna woman and I met, and we knew a lot of the same people. And half the reason I went to this convention was to meet this Donna. And oh my God. And then when I was meeting some of the women that were speaking on stage, I just felt like I can't remember when I've ever been this excited about being in this industry. So I am just so excited. What I took out of it, I'm just going to say a little bit about what I took. You know the old saying, some will, some won't, so what? Well, they were saying at the convention, some will, some won't, some are waiting. So I'm telling you, there's 2,500 women with hair on fire right now from that convention. If you don't start making a list and calling some of those women, then friends that you have, I'm telling you ladies on this call, you better start making a list because there's some excited women out there and men that are going to start calling up the people that you should have in your business. And so don't let someone else all fired up get those people that you need. So make a list and start really, you know, getting that excitement back because I'm super excited. And the other thing that I learned was, which I think is true, when you surround yourself with women and men, well, we were there with a lot of women that have made millions of dollars in this industry. You want some of that to rub off on you, and you want to know what they did to get there. I mean, everyone has secrets to success, but there's always a common thread through all these women that are on stage. Now, there were some women there that were 25 years old, and they have made millions of dollars in their first few years in the industry. And I'm going to say some of the products that they have can't hold a candle to us. I mean, there's products that have chemicals in them. There's products that are really boring that I would never even buy or look at. But these women took that opportunity and they just ran with it. So I was just so impressed with what I've seen. So I'm too excited. So I'm going to share this with, I'm going to share the mic with some of these other women in our company that are going to share why they're in Modere, why they're excited about what they heard at the conference. So our first guest speaker today is Budge. I didn't really get a chance to talk to her too much because we were all getting pulled in different directions. But this lovely lady is from Winnipeg, Canada. She's a Director 3 Platinum, which means that she's got some really awesome people in her business to get to that level. She's a mom of a dog. I guess this is why she's a dog mom. That's so cute. And she's a wife, loves Vegas, goes often. So Budge, we want to hear what you have to say. Why are you in Modere, and what did you take out of the conference? And take it away, sweetheart, and share what you got from the conference.
Awesome. Thanks, BettyAnne. I have to say, you guys, BettyAnne looks amazing on Facebook, but like that just doesn't do her justice. When you meet BettyAnne in person, like you just feel warm and all fuzzy. And so although we only met each other for a couple minutes, it was amazing. And I felt like I still took away a weekend with BettyAnne. Her energy is contagious. So thank you so much for that, BettyAnne. So this event is something that the moment I signed up with Modere, I knew I wanted to up-level my experience and my journey in network marketing. And this is actually an event that I registered for almost a year ago. I knew I was treating myself to something really big, and I could see the power in it. So I'm really glad that I made a sacrifice almost a year ago to invest in this and kind of pay it back over the last several months, because the investment that I put into this was so worth it. Even if you spent one day at this event, it would be worth the investment that you put in to go to it. Like BettyAnne said, you walk in there and you're just blown away by the energy of the room. You would not believe how many well-dressed, successful women that there are in network marketing, and it made me super proud to be a part of this industry. Like, there are women out there from so many companies who are thriving. There is room for every single one of us to thrive in not only this business, but in this industry as a whole. So that was very eye-opening for me. What I want to talk to you guys about is posture and the way that you speak about your business and yourself every single day. This is something that Tracy's shared about, and you know what? I've listened to Tracy and I've believed in everything that she said, but sometimes you need to be hit over the head by someone who you've never heard from before for it to really click. And I feel like that happened this weekend. Everything that Tracy's been sharing was just reinforced by some of these leaders, and I'm really glad that I had the opportunity to hear it. So basically what I want to share about is, you know, in network marketing, we're professional inviters. So inviting is the most important thing that we're doing every single day. I don't just mean inviting people to look at the business or inviting people to look at the products. I mean inviting people into your life as a friend or as a relationship. So you need to be on 24/7 and representing your business, representing your company, representing your products in a professional way. Gone are the days of running out to the grocery store and looking like a hot ass mess. You need to do yourself up and get out there, because you are representing yourself every single minute of your life in network marketing. Yes, we have the luxury of working this business on social media, but you better you better match what you're putting out there on social media when people meet you in person. So there was some really good advice about, you know, if you want $1 million business, you need $1 million you. So start taking care of yourself first and foremost, because your business is a direct reflection of the way that you take care of yourself and the way that you talk to yourself. So getting back to inviting, if you start taking care of yourself, your posture is going to come. When you're talking about your business, even if it's just in passing or in conversations with your family, I want you guys to listen to how you're talking or referring to your business. If you're talking about it like it's this silly little side thing, when you go out and you start inviting people to look at the business or to look at the products or to be a part of your life, you're going to have that same posture shining through. So if your posture is really poor on the daily, you need to up that and start talking about your business like it's a legitimate business. I know I have a lot of gals on my team who don't necessarily have that family support that they want in this business, and this is a great tip for you. Start referring to your business as a family business. Stop referring to it as your business or that thing that mom does on the side. Start referring to it as a family business and try and get your family involved and get some buy-in from them. Give them little tasks or ways that they can help you with your business, whether it's directly related to your business or not. Those things are going to help get them to support you, and it's going to reinforce your belief in this business, and you're going to treat it like a true business. So that's also going to shine through when you're inviting people to look at things. You're going to have a better posture and a better belief. You're also going to want to start sharing about the ugly. This is another big thing that was common there. We can't go on social media every day and pretend like we live in a perfect world and life is perfect. No one can relate to perfect. People can relate to ugly. People want to see you go through a struggle and survive it and thrive. So get real and start sharing the real stuff if you want to attract an audience and you want to attract a following. Sometimes you need to wait until you're through whatever you're going through to share about it in a better way. But get real with your audience and get vulnerable, because that's what they're looking for. I could go on, but I know there's other people who are at this event, but I guess my biggest takeaway is, you know, find an event like this that's like a treat to yourself and make it a priority to get there. Pick an event like this once a year and get to it, because it is worth just being, like BettyAnne said, in that room with those people, and it's going to expand your vision for what you can do. You might think you have a vision of what you can do now, but you have no idea until you get in that room with that higher level of success. So that's where I'll stop it. Otherwise, I'll be on for like 2 hours.
Oh, thank you, Brett. That was so good, and it's so true, isn't it? Because I think what happens is, as women, sometimes we get intimidated, you know, with other women, because, you know, you look at them and you're like, wow, you know, she's, you know, they've got it all together. But when you hear their stories, you find out that some of these women were dead broke. There's women there that they shared some of their stories about what happened when they got into network marketing. I mean, we've got women on that stage that there were 2 women on that stage. And both these women, I found out later, both had ulcerative colitis, which is a condition that my daughter was developed 2 years ago. And one of them just about died, and it was Holly, one of the speakers. And apparently, you know, she had to turn her whole life around, and that's how she got into network marketing. She got onto a product that apparently helped her with her condition, and it turned her life around, and it made her want to share her story. And now this woman is making a whole lot of money. We're not talking about $5,000 a month here. We're talking about $35,000, $50,000, $60,000, $80,000 a month earners. And when you hear their stories, the one thing that Anna and I really picked up from this, and then we talked about it till 2, 3 in the morning, these women don't make excuses. And I think what happens as women sometimes, you know, if anybody can make an excuse to not have been at that event, it was Anna. Anna went through so much this year. what she went through, most women would not have shown up to that event. Most women would have just said, I'm done, lawsuits and just things that she went through. And because I'm close to her, I looked at her strength and I thought, my God, this woman could have had a nervous breakdown. And she got on the phone and said, get your butt to that convention. And I thought, if she's going, I'm going. I mean, like she said, follow the cat. Like, look at the woman that we can look up to and follow what they're doing. Now, I got to tell you, Margie Ellebrandt, that woman, Margie, the mother of Mo Dare, she was the first person that spoke. And I mean, she was like the main, I don't know, maybe we love her so much, but she was the main attraction when she got on that stage. She's the first person who shared her story. And I thought, we have Margie in our company. We have Anna Woodward, an icon. We've got Sarah, we've got the people, the women that we have that will get on a call with us. We are so blessed. And yet we've got women in our team making excuses. I can't even get them on a Zoom call because, you know why? Because they're watching American Idol, or they're making excuses. They tell me they want to make money and they want to build a business, but they're not even on this call tonight. And I'm thinking, okay, you know what? You need to understand that this is your business. Brett is doing this for her future. Anna's doing this for her sons and her daughter. I'm doing this my kids are grown up now, but I want to have a legacy. I came into network marketing 11 years ago. I was broke. I had a failed marriage. I'd never done network marketing before, and I didn't even know what the heck I was doing. I had a really shitty product. We didn't even have a product. I don't even know what we had, but I went out and I made myself $200,000, $200,000 that year in a business that I didn't even know anything about because I didn't care. I just grabbed what I knew and I went and I did it. And then I did it again in another company. And I don't want to do it in another company. This company's my last company. I said to Anna, I don't care. I'm not going anywhere. I'm with you all the way. But what we have in Mo Dare is so special because we can do it on social media. So after seeing all these other companies, I thought, wow, we've got over 300 products and we've got great products that work. People are losing weight, getting energy. We've got people that have testimonies, stories. And when some of these women were in the network marketing 20 years ago, we didn't have Zoom. They didn't have three-way calls. They didn't have what we've got. We've got Anna, Tracy, Sarah, Margie, BettyAnne. We've got so many people that want to help you. There's no excuses, women and men. We have got it all. So stop making excuses. Make a list and get on some calls with us and stay connected. One of the things that Anne and I noticed too, I saw some women there that I knew from my last company. These are, six-figure earners, and they were there in another company. But what I like doing is I like getting their phone numbers, reconnecting with them, staying friends with people on Facebook. Don't worry about people stealing your people. Anna's a really great, I like the way Anna rolls. She goes and she talks to leaders from all kinds of companies because she said, and we talked about this, you don't know where they're going to be in 3 months. Some of those women that we saw there are on the verge of leaving their company. They came there to get recharged, but that doesn't mean that they might be going somewhere else. And so I always keep my options open, always talk to people, stay friends with people that are in this industry, because if you want to know about, if you want to go fast, success likes fast, then find some women that want to go fast. So on that note, I'm going to bring my friend, my mentor, the woman who brought me to Mo Dare, and most of you wouldn't be in Mo Dare if it wasn't for the great Anna Woodward. What I love about Anna is Anna doesn't make excuses. She doesn't make excuses about anything. And so, Anna, I know you're excited. When you wrapped up that mastermind call the other day at 6 in the morning on your way to the airport, and you got me so charged up. Anna's going to talk about why Mo Dare and what she got from that conference. Anna, boss lady, Moxie lady, take it away.
What did you drink today?
I know, right?
You're like a different woman. Man, watch out. I think she's drawn a line in the sand and declared it. Well, Thank you so much. And I'm just also honored to be on here. And I'll probably take extra time because our dear friend, truly, someone's not muted. Go ahead and mute line. Someone is kind of noisy line. An iconic leader in the industry, Donna Stewart, was going to give us her time tonight. And she has kind of an emergency technical thing that's just falling apart right now. So she apologizes and wants to be invited back. And we want you to hear from her because she comes from a former generation of the Amway dynasty. And she has stories that, you know, you just think you can't make this stuff up. One of my favorite stories of hers is when her and her husband filled coliseums in Spain with their success line. Not auditoriums or hotel rooms, coliseums. She's got an incredible story and wisdom, and she's here to do her final build with Modere. So we'll get her on and give her the whole hour, quite frankly. She deserves it. So anyway, I know that there's a lot of people on this call at all different levels. And I've been thinking today about how to share from what we learned this weekend so each of you can take something from tonight's call. You know, there's nothing I can really truly give you without having been there to experience it yourself. You just can't recap these events. It's complete immersion. And what happens to you, honestly, it almost happens at a cellular level in some cases. The closing part of this event, you know, I'm funny when I'm at these events, even though I totally said to BettyAnne and I said to others, you have to go. But there's something that just, I had a God tug that just said, you got to get BettyAnne there. You have to get her there. And at the end, so I go to these things and I'm like an island. I feel like every speaker is talking directly to me because I'm very analytical about myself. And, you know, one of the things that you'll learn about events as you're growing a team, and even if the team is just you, that's okay. That's where it begins, is, you know, we don't always like to hear what's good for us. And we don't always like our upline or our sponsor telling us what to do. We just don't. We're a little bit sometimes like a teenager, but like we're a little rebellious. We're like, oh yeah, I've heard that a lot before. When you go to an event like this, it's third party from multimillionaires who have gone through a burning bush in hell to get where they are. And I'm going to share that with you in a minute, because that was also a common thread. Every single leader, and there was dozens of leaders, but there was $1 million panel. And there were social media panels, rising star panels, husband and wife panels, but there was dozens up there through the whole weekend. But they all said, life is messy, embrace the mess. Just embrace it, because the things there's a devil at every level. And no matter where you are in your journey, if you're not ready to face the next mess, you're going to be held back. There's always going to be a mess that somehow you embrace it, you push through, and you come out a stronger leader. And I truly believe you come out blessed with more abundance. But I'm digressing. At the end of this event, Eric Worre did something that, I had one of the biggest breakthroughs I've ever had in my life. And it was about 25 minutes, and I reached to my left and I reached to my right, grabbed Donna's hand, grabbed BettyAnne's hand, and I was in tears. I was a sobbing mess. There was like these kind of events, and especially Eric Worre is very skilled. This was a very Tony Robbins type experience that he did at the end, and then I'll go into content. But literally, if you came there with pain, if you came there with something holding you back, a limiting belief, an excuse, drama, things you've been through in the past, whatever you came there with, because everyone came with something. You know, we're just messy. Everybody came there with something they were seeking. Literally, he walks you through this Tony Robbins type thing. And I don't know, I came out of there a different person. You can hear it in BettyAnne, and you'll see it in me in the days to come. I enrolled someone today. Hey, it's already working. But anyway, let's go back to this event. So my philosophy in this business, I had an extremely good mentor 13 years ago. And I think you all need to remember, you can't build this as an island. You have to grab onto somebody, and you have to really heed their advice or heed their walk. Like watch what they do, listen to what they say. And if they're making more money than you and they have an energy and a passion that inspires you, grab onto them. Okay, just grab onto them or follow them. Be a stalker if you have to. But that's what I did in the beginning. And I remember not going to an event, and it was a company event. It wasn't anything like this. But I remember the minute I didn't go that one time, and I was stuck in my business. I was making maybe $1,000 to $1,500 a month, somewhere in there, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. I was really 1 foot in and 1 foot out. One of the things, you can write this down, that they were very, very clear. This was a Eric Warray thing. Now listen really closely, because this was me. The time I was 1 foot in and 1 foot out, back in the beginning, 12, 13 years ago, he said, and again, they don't sugarcoat it. So anything I say tonight that rubs you the wrong way, you may be ready to hear it, and that's why it's going to rub you the wrong way. If you just want to disagree with it and put it to the side, you have that right, because I know that not everybody may be ready for this kind of directness and whatever. Okay, so but I'm sharing with you, this was the theme of this huge event. If your network marketing business is secondary in your life, you have no chance for big success. Categorically, none. Okay? Now remember, we talk a lot about the part-time opportunity in Modere and other companies. There's a part-time opportunity. That's the part-time opportunity, and it's part-time money. That's where I was when I first got started after several months, maybe $1,000, $1,500. It fluctuated as my activity changed. But $1,000 to $1,500 isn't considered big success in this industry. Big success. Well, you can think of the numbers. I mean, to me, big success was a 6-figure income. That's $8,300 a month, and that to me, that was big success. And then I started thinking bigger and thought about $20,000 a month. And oh my gosh, I had a drink. Well, I had my sparkling water the last night at the party with Angel Fletcher, $2.4 million a year. That's success. Okay. The point is, if your business is secondary in your life, you're never going to get to big success. And I'll go into more why that is, but here's why. Your subconscious brain will serve your primary, and it will sabotage your secondary. So you guys think about that, because I remember, and I've told this story long before I went to this conference and heard that message. When I was teaching flute at Seattle Pacific University and had students, and I had my little gig on the side, people would ask me what I did. And I always said, well, I'm a musician. I teach at Seattle Pacific University, and I have a little side business I do. Okay. That's when I had 1 foot in and 1 foot out, and I wasn't making hardly any money. The day I changed that, and somehow I changed it, decided that I knew what I wanted my future to be, and as scary as it was, I had to claim it. So when people say, what do? I say, I build, and at the point I made my company, they go, what does that mean? But I started making that my primary. When I made that my primary, everything started changing. Okay, so I lived it, so that's when they said that, I was like, that is so true. In the last several months, even the last several weeks, Brett's writing little notes. If you guys want to ask any questions, by the way, or make any comments, I'm watching the chat too, so go ahead and do that. But, I'm home a lot, just like many of you are. We're not doing the event circuit like we have done in past companies, where you're out 2 and 3 nights a week at hotels. You're at a Saturday once a month training, and 3 or 4 or 5 events a year that you travel to, and then traveling into teams in other parts of the country and Canada. I'm home. So I'm being mom to my daughter. I'm teaching her to drive. I'm making dinner. I'm doing laundry. I'm doing a lot of the things that a lot of moms do. And honestly, in the last several weeks, Modere has been my secondary. Right? I'm not going to be able to move it unless I flip it back to my primary. I don't have to throw the kids away, but I got to make it my primary. All right. I can make the beds, or I can build an empire, and I have to, for a limited period of time, define that primary and put my attention to what it's going to take to grow and move the needle and keep more people engaged and duplicate and yada, yada, yada. Okay. So that was one of the big takeaways. But so I learned the importance of events a long time ago. Now, my last company was very refined and strong at this message. It was an event-driven company, and the CEO was the event king. It was the culture. So we were really good at the art of promotion, the art of promoting events. And so I learned how to build an organization to 33,000 people, which is nothing. And I mean, it's definitely something. But again, the scalability, we met a gal who's 30 years old, who has 350,000 people in her success line, and she's done it all from social media. Okay, you wanna know how many people she's personally sponsored? My elites on here are gonna throw up after we share this with you. I don't mean for you to throw up. It's a reality check. It's like we get out of our bubble and suddenly you have this reality check of, if you're going to compare apples to oranges to bananas, which is really good to do sometimes, you realize we've gotten off the game. I got to find this. Hold on a second. I got to find this. I got like 35 pages of notes. Well, anyway, the numbers are, hold on a second. Just give me 1 second so I can find it, because I have to have this page ready. So she's 30 years old, 350,000 people in her success line. She is making, let's see, where is she? She's making, well, I didn't catch how much she was actually making. In 4.5 years, she's personally sponsored 350 distributors, personally, in 4.5 years. She has 350,000 distributors, and she's got 30 direct legs of leadership. That'd be like 30 elite plus legs, perhaps, or something. And she's got way more other ones, okay? She's 30 years old with a single mom and like little kids, and she left an abusive husband who smacked her around, and she got her just enough energy together to start building this. And I mean, these are just some of the stories were just like mind-boggling. Okay, so I learned how powerful events are, because if you can get people, all you gotta do is convince them to get to the event. If they get to the event, they have an experience like BettyAnne had. They have a transformational experience like I had. They have an aha like Brett had. And it's the best form of growing like roots in your business with people, because if it's a good event, it does the work for you. You have to be a little bit numb inside or disconnected to your bladder, and your bladder and your tear ducts are connected, but you have to be a little bit disconnected if you don't have a shift in an event like this. By the way, there's 2 big events that Eric Worre does, and I'm picky about the kind of events. I love Tony Robbins and that kind of concept, but that's not network marketing. So the reason I like the Eric Worre is it is industry focused, specific to the needs and the concepts and the challenges and just all the building modules and blocks of what we need in our business. And the 3 pillars are mindset, skills, and strategy. So there is GoPro, which is probably, that's his big event. And I went to GoPro last December, and it's usually in December in Vegas. You'll have to find someone with tickets because it's already sold out. There's like 17, 18, maybe 20,000 people. It's ridiculous. And leaders buy massive blocks of tickets and sell them. Now, the good news is Sarah Zalecki's cousin is Eric Worre. So it's kind of a little insider. So we might be able to get some tickets to that for those who are interested come December. But the women's event, I'm told it was off the charts this year. Like they said last year was a little bit, mind blown, a little bit underwhelming. This year it was off the chart. Like it beat all expectations, and you have less than 2,000 people in attendance. Really, it's intimate, and even some of the men come because they think it's a better event, which, by the way, one of the takeaways I got, Paul, was they were talking about the seasons are changing, right? It's becoming more of a female energy driven world right now. And there's a reason for that. We need it. We need more women in positions of building businesses and leading people instead of dropping bombs and causing wars and whatever. I mean, that's not a political statement. I'm just saying. But what they did say is, and the men who are climbing to the top and making the biggest impact are the heart-centered men. The heart and the men that understand that balance between, because we all have male energy and female energy, right? But I thought that was kind of cool because here we have Paul, who always hangs out in the chick room here. And I just think we always talk about ladies and we don't want to disregard Paul, but that's what they were saying. There was a handful of really sharp, high earners at that event who were men. And they're like, this is the best event because the women are leading it, right? The women, and you just feel this heart pour from the stage. And women are tough. They don't sugarcoat it. Guys are sometimes, they'll softer up there. They're strong, but the women are tough on each other. And so anyway, I went to this event, and I BettyAnne said, I had to rearrange stuff. My husband had to take a day off of work, and my kids had to kind of be self-sufficient on Friday because I was leaving Thursday, and it wasn't cheap. I'm sure Brett will say the same thing. You take the hotel, you take the food, your airfare, the VIP ticket, which you don't need to do VIP, but if you're an elite and you want to really start, again, you want to walk up to those top earners and introduce yourself and ask, well, tell me what's the one thing you did wrong, or there's such a value to that because they're all in the same little receptions and they're so approachable in those VIP segments. GoPro, the VIP is really worth your value too, but it's bigger and it's a little more intense. this is everybody. Donna Johnson from Arbonne, I walked up to her, and everyone's just so approachable. You can get pictures, and the food and the drinks are great too. So if you ever can do VIP, you're right up front. Okay, that's what Donna said. She goes, Donna told me today I'm going to be an elite by October 1st, not because I need the stage. I want to be up front. I want to earn my place back up front again. So anyway, I went there expecting to receive. And when you come to your next conference or any kind of a training platform you go to, expect to receive something. Try to clear your mind, try to get in the receptive mode and be open. I remember thinking, I'm going to be like a sponge. I prepared myself kind of the night before I left. And would you know, I sat on the plane next to somebody who I swear to God, he sent them to me. Long story, but it's someone with a very, very unique expertise and something that I need for my son. And it was just like, okay, the receptive mode's working. And I knew it was going to be an amazing trip. Everything the girls said about being in that kind of environment, I felt like I've been off my game since last year, some of the challenges. And not to go into it, but just let's leave it at that. I felt like I've been really off my game fighting to get it back. And you're going to have that at every level in your business, most likely at some time. It could be, you have a family problem. It could be you have a marriage problem. It could be you have money problems. It could be, it could be you have a drinking problem. There could be a whole many thousands of things that will get in your face because it's life and life is messy. And you're going to feel like, I don't feel on my game. I don't feel on my game. Or maybe the company or when you start questioning, walk in that room. And if you have a spark within, I'm telling you, from the first step in the door, you're back to your sparkler self. You're back to fireworks going off in your head. And my first initial sense was, I'm back. This is my clan. This is what I do. I know who I am. And I'm around 2,000 sisters who have walked through paths that I've walked through, have, done some of the sacrificing I've done, who love this industry passionately like I do. And we're all at different levels in different companies, but we all want each other to win. It's just a most wonderful room to be in for 3 or 4 days. From that very first moment, I knew this was going to be 20 times the value at least. You couldn't put a price on it now, because if I come out and I do what I'm already doing and what I believe is I feel renewed, it's 20 times my income, 200 times my income 2-3 years from now. I mean, how can you put a price on it? What just happened that gave you the shift? So that's what you guys need to know is I made that commitment and made it happen. You might have to think in your life when you're ready, because I'm not telling you have to be ready. That's your timeline. That's your decision. I'm never going to tell you that family is not more important, because it isn't. But there's sometime you're going to have to say, well, I'll give you an example. In August, there's a huge event in Vegas, only 300 people, and it's more than I've ever spent on anything. And my son goes to college that week, and I already committed to being there. I already put my card down, my credit card down. I have my spot, and it's for 5 solid days of serious deep dive. And my husband's like, "You're going to miss Nick going to college." I'm like, he's been in Florida for 2 years. I'll send him off a couple days early. It'll be fine. He's just California, but I'm doing it for him. And that was another theme, to see so many people that said, don't let your family be your excuse. And you heard Brett say it, or you heard BettyAnne say it. You got to turn this into a family business. Success is fanaticism. There's no doubt about it. It takes an extremism. And listening to, at the end, particularly Eric and Marina talk, they were saying people think they're crazy because of how hard they work. But they're like, why would we not want to pour into others and create value for this industry and help people achieve breakthroughs? And I mean, he went on and on. Be of service, inspire, equip, connect around the world. To them, it's not work, because what they believe in is they're so passionate about what they're doing. But you have to. So in other words, you have to understand that there's going to be people around you who don't understand you and don't get you. And you know what? That will be the way it is. It's sometimes lonely going towards that ladder of success. It is for every single person. They touched upon that. I talked about immersion. Steve Martin apparently had a master class at some point, the comedian. And he said he wasn't funny organically when he was young, but he decided to immerse himself around comedians. If you weren't a comedian, he didn't hang out with you. He went to clubs every night. All his friends were comedians. He listened to comedy for that period of his life. That if you were, a novelist, or you're a dramatic actor, or you were, a dream-stealing sibling, he locked you out of his life. And that's how he helped become one of the greatest comedians of all time. So it's kind of a similar philosophy, but we're talking, this was 3 days, right? Not your whole everyday existence. Negativity. This is huge for all of us, particularly because, we had a lot of stuff to get through this last year. I mean, coming over here, but that's gone now. But they said, be radical about getting negativity out of your life, whatever that means to you, whatever is shutting you down or telling you you're not smart enough. Oh, these things are never going to happen for you, sweetheart. Or, oh, you making any money yet? Oh, your check's gone down. Oh, this isn't working for you. Or, oh, you know what? That company, they're stupid. You should come to this company. Or, hey, this is the latest, greatest thing. I'm making this much on that. Whatever the negativity is, and whatever it is to be radical about getting it out. And you could have negativity, again, on multiple fronts. But that was kind of a whole segment on that. There was also a whole segment on Saturday, which was really fascinating, about relationships. And boy, I wish I would have gone last year, and I wish this speaker would have been there, because they talked to leaders. You'll appreciate this. I can't remember who gave this presentation, but they really went in depth about the relationships in this business. It's a relationship business, and how, not everybody's going to like each other. It's okay. It's impossible to be liked by everybody. It's just impossible. But instead of being hurt, if someone underneath you goes to someone above you and bypasses you, instead of looking at and being hurt by that, how about changing your thoughts about it? And instead of going, oh, I'm so hurt, or they're whatever, they must not like me. How about saying, oh, I'm so pleased they're getting their needs met. So they were talked about, instead of taking all these things in the relationship realm, because this is relationship marketing, and the bigger your team gets, there's more relationships. So either your relationships up, down, sidelines, or the relationships happening in your team. I thought this was an invaluable session. And then another session was an outside presenter. Her name was Zen. Totally forget her last name. She was extraordinary, and her whole hour was on the law of attraction and the Abraham Hicks concept of alignment. So she gave us real concrete kind of science around it and examples, and then she showed us exercises how to feel, get ourselves in a state of alignment where we can feel our body's response to certain questions we pose ourselves. And based on, is your chest tightening? Do you feel a little constricted, or even a lump in your throat? If you feel that, and I could probably do this with you guys, if we do this somewhere else together, and I can show you, I'm just going fast here. If you feel that constricted tightening, then it's probably, you probably, that's not right for you. That's your body, that's your inner guidance system saying that's not right. That's not what we mean. If you feel open and calm and open when you propose that question, that's your inner guidance system saying, yes, this is right. So that was fascinating. That was completely fascinating. Back to some of the stuff. Okay. So a lot of work on self-worth, a lot of different stories of people, sharing, I tell you, we all have problems, but if you were ever to be asked to trade problems with somebody, you would pick up that piece of paper with another person's problems, and you'd run back and try to get your own back. Okay. When you start hearing the kind of problems in the world, be grateful for your own problems, because there's always someone with worse, more severe. You think, how do they survive that? But they talked about be obsessed with not playing small. And again, what does that mean? It means at every level you have to ask yourself, am I doing enough? Like, if everybody did what I did in my business today, how do we be? And if you've been, doing nothing for the last month, but sending emails and scheduling calls and checking numbers, then you got to pretty much understand that you're not leading. That's not leading. And so they talked about this idea of leading from the front and not playing small. But as I shared with you, or I think I shared with you earlier, let's say you're a team leader and you want to be a senior team leader. You can go, you can get on a call, and you can get Mojo, and you should be in One Voice and learning how to add tag message and all that kind of stuff. But quite frankly, the only person who's responsible from going from team leader to senior team leader is you, right? And to do that takes a certain amount of velocity. And that means a number of exposures, number of follow-ups, number of three-way calls, number of ad tags and messages about M3 or collagen. So till you get enough of a breadth of activity, so numbers start materializing because we know our products are that good and our opportunity is that great. And then suddenly, boom, you're a senior team leader. There's a velocity it takes to get there. If you think by just going part-time plod, you're never going to get to a sustainable movement. Like they all touched on success loves speed. Now you don't have to have this speed forever, but during the periods, these 90-day periods, you want to really initiate growth in your paycheck. Let's get down to the bottom line. It takes velocity. So I love that because I love that idea of velocity. I've always said it's like an airplane taking off. You have to have enough velocity that can push through the resistance till you get the lift off. And there's a very similar thing about that. Okay, let's talk about events being a time machine. In other words, people go into an event and literally all the big leaders would talk about these shifts they had in their business, and almost every, again, transformational idea or shift happened at some kind of a live event, your company event. It just doesn't happen hearing on a conference call. That you just can't get that, again, head to the heart, but it's immersion. There's something happens when you're in immersion and you can't hear the kids crying and you don't care what the family is having for dinner. And you really haven't thought about what bills are on your desk because you're absolutely in a really intense environment with people who want to raise you up and help you drop your blocks, drop your negativity, drop your excuses. And two things are going to happen in this situation. This is my feeling. You're going to rise to the occasion, or you're going to realize it's not for you. Well, I just don't think anybody on this call is going to realize they're going to get up and quit. It's not for them. I think you're going to rise to the occasion. I think we're all just scared to put ourselves in that environment because you can't hide. You can't hide. It's like what happens around you is so intense for 3 or 4 days that if you tried to plug out and not listen to it, you're cheating yourself. So you have to go in. And once you go in emotionally, it's pulling excuse my French, just pulling the shit out. Whatever that blocks are, whatever the negativity is, whatever the fear is, whatever the excuses are, it's like it pulls it out of you. That's why I said at the end, I was a sobbing mess. I don't normally cry, but when I do, the floodgates. Write this down. Every master was once a disaster. Embrace the messy. And write this down. This was fabulous. What's your vision? You may be a teacher. And if you're a teacher, God bless you. But are you a teacher? And is it perhaps possible that you have a $50,000 vision for your life? In other words, sometimes what we do in our secondary, right? Because now we know what our primary should be in our mind, in our heart, in our intentionality. But that paycheck, if you work for the government, if you work for a hospital, if you're a teacher, maybe that is your vision. Trade it for $1 million vision and then figure out how to serve at $1 million a year. That's really what it comes down to. Write this down. I don't know what it exactly means. I think you can all think about it. I mean, I thought about it, but I just want you to write this down because this was stunning. Wisdom will be known by her children. You'll hear me probably share that in trainings in the months to come. Wisdom shall be known by her children. In other words, what you do and the choices you make will have a ripple effect in your life. And the evidence of your good choices and your bad choices and your excuses and your convictions, they'll be known by the fruits of your labor, by her children. Can you see how this was like, there's stuff that I've never heard before anywhere else, and you probably haven't ever heard at a Modir training. You guys agree? It's just like, this was heavy. The secret sauce is being a forever student. I think that's true in anything, being a forever student in anything across the board. So write that down. That's the secret sauce. There was a huge thing on making your list, but if you're going to Vancouver, I'm training on that, so I'll share that for you. Let's see. Oh, wow, this was really cool. They talked a lot about the gig economy and how 40 million people, purchase online or do transactions online through the internet. Or at the tune of $40 billion. By the year 2025, it should be $340 billion. That's how much this economy is growing. We have this most incredible industry that most people don't understand called network marketing. And we all agree that, we don't all agree. I really believe we have a responsibility to impact the world with it. It doesn't matter what you think of what a leader wears or what a company does here or there, or how people act in a team, or if people leave. The reality is, for what you can earn in this industry, and there's thousands of companies. There's not thousands of good companies. There's a handful of good companies, but there's thousands of companies. For what you can earn, there's nowhere where you get the time, you get the such a low risk, where you get to impact so many lives, where you get to serve without, Dawn and I were talking about this. With what we do is we serve, but what we do, like, you would never hear the stuff we heard on stage at a medical conference or a corporate conference for technology. NAB was the week before. I guarantee you what happened at the Mirage Hotel. We lit up the sky well above Vegas with the kind of energy and the love and the spirituality and different things that was pouring through to help make people better. You just don't get that anywhere else. And that's why another reason people are drawn to be in this industry. It is really much more about so much more than just a paycheck. So anyway, that was crazy. Just kind of hearing about some of that. Hold on a second. I just want to see if there's anything that I really, really, really wanted you guys to hear about. One of the things, okay, I'm going to talk straight now. I'm going to take my notes away so I can just remember. But one of the things I've said for a long time, and you're going to see me change, and I'll be starting with this Saturday morning in Vancouver. So hopefully it'll be streamed live, I'm sure, if you're not there. But we're going to talk about how to make your list. I mean, how do you start? And if you haven't started right, call, oh, well, if I haven't started you right, if I personally sponsored you and you thinking after you hear my training and you hear Jennifer Kennedy after me, then you hear Janine, you think, wait a minute, I didn't do this when I get started. Guess what? Call us up. We're going to hit the refresh button. We're going to start you again, because the most important thing you can do is start by who are you going to invite into your business or to experience your products. You got to start. You can't just go, well, what do I do? Do I add tag? Do I do a Facebook Live? Do I do this? How do you do that if you don't have a list of at least 150 people, or start with your top 20? But the reality is it has to be a living, breathing list. Okay. Network marketing is a professional career opportunity. It's not, you don't build it in 6 weeks and then you're done adding to your list. You have to at some point adopt this ever breathing, living list where you're going to add 2 people a day. 2 people a day to your list, 5 days a week. Again, how did I get a group of 33,000 people? Because we did 2 a day. And it was a mantra that if you were ever on a company call, you heard it. If you were in a getting started, you heard it. If you were at a regional training, you heard it. So you're going to start hearing me just preaching it. Like, if you're serious, you need to care enough to go get 2 prospects a day. Now, you could do it from your family tree. You can do it from your high school graduating class. You can do it from social media. I don't care where you get them, but you need to be turning that list into a list of abundance and, again, making an impact on the world. When you turn that energy over in this business, you have not a care in the world about your business. It is going to change for you. You know the money is going to flow. It's just a matter of time, because suddenly it's not all about you and your paycheck. You have broken through and you're giving, and you're adding more and more people. And there is a law of numbers. They were talking about, the 7-figure earners were talking about 7 to 10. Okay, so let's say you are a director 3 and you want to be an elite 1. I would say that, let's say you have a goal of by September being an elite 1. I would say then for the next 90 days, because this is the high season right now, I would do 5 to 7 prospects 5 days a week. Okay, we're talking 90 days of your life. If you're not willing to give up 90 days of your life to be uncomfortable, one could ask, do you think you really deserve $10,000 a month for months and years to come without waking up in the morning, without turning your computer on, without answering a call? Because that's the whole point. You eventually get your business independent away from you, that money comes in regardless, but you have to figure out what portion of your life are you going to give it all up. Not all up, but you're going to get seriously uncomfortable. You're going to not bathe for 4 days. You're going to be fanatical where your husband or your wife goes, are you smoking crack? What is going on with you? You say, you know what? I'm building an empire. I got 90 days. I'm on 7 to 10 prospects. And again, that's just the prospecting. Then it's the whole putting them in the funnel and inviting them and the follow-ups. But you be willing to do that and not just manage. You can be like that top earner on stage who's 30 years old with 350,000 in her team, because she took a season and she did the do. Maybe she had 3 computers going, 2 phones. I don't know. I didn't ask her the stories, but I just know that whatever you have done to now, whatever I have done to now, we can do more. And if you want to move the needle, if it's going to be, it's up to me. It has to be you. You can't, I mean, 2 things can happen, but I'll tell you this was also a message that came from the stage. It hit me hard, and I'll share it again. There's no way to sugarcoat it. It was so empowering in such a beautiful, loving way, but they didn't hold back, because, you know, we spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars to be there, and that's our time. We want to know how to be up on that stage as 6-figure, mid 6-figure, high 6-figure, and 7-figure earners. Well, guess what? No one's going to come to your rescue, period. If you're an elite 1 and you're stuck, no one's going to come rescue you. That's the bottom line. You have to figure it out. And you've got to figure out how to keep more people in your business, drive systems. Again, you know, maybe there's stuff that's going on in your head and in your body that's holding you back from being your true greatness. Peel it back. Find a coach. You know, go to Vancouver, go to Orlando, and try to put yourself in a receptive mode. Pray about your business. Pray about yourself. I mean, I remember for years wanting this so badly. I did pray. I prayed for my family. I prayed for my team. I prayed for my business. If you don't think I've prayed the last several months, it's probably more prayers than I've ever done for my business and for the health of this company and for everybody on the line. But no one's going to come to your rescue. And they said that, you know, it's true. You know, so I was there not to come back to beat on my team. No. I went to that event to fix me, to fix Anna, because Anna's got some cracks. Anna's got some issues. Anna's got limiting beliefs. And I went there to make me better so I can come back here and be a bigger spotlight and a bigger transmitter to the world of opportunity, of inspiration, of the path to freedom, of empowerment. Empowered women empower women. Write that down. Yeah. Empowered women empower women. Man,
that is on fire. Oh.
I know. I can't. But I'm wrapping it up. I'm watching the clock. But yeah, that was one of the things that is just, you know, when they said, I just fell off my chair and told BettyAnne, well, that's fascinating. And the reality is, when you're a leader, and again, if you're a senior team leader or a team leader, and this might be like a little too intense, so just, you know, take what you can, and just, if you're not hearing me, don't worry. That means you're probably not ready for it yet. It's okay. But for top leaders, you know, it was like, don't wait around for someone to do it for you. Like I know sometimes we're in a bubble of Modere, right? And we've been in the bubble of Modere since we got here. Well, stepping out of the bubble of Modere, like, you really see how blessed we are. BettyAnne touched upon it, but I talked to a top $1 million 7-figure earner who's been in the industry for quite a while. She's an icon. And we sat down at the VIP lunch. And I mean, we walked into this lunch. Okay, this is how I am. I'm like, BettyAnne, where are we going to sit? Because I'm not going to sit with the same old people. We got to meet, you know, we got to meet some players. And so I saw her right in front of me. I said, we're going to sit with her. And so we followed her at her table, sat down, when we sit here and introduced ourselves. And of course, BettyAnne's so lovely and gorgeous. Everybody loves her. So we sat down and I got to talk with her, you know, just really intimately for about 30 minutes, 20 minutes. And she was in awe of what we had. I got to share with her, our company markets to our customers. They do? Yeah. Really? I mean, you have Facebook groups? You have, what's some other things we have an app? You have an app? You don't pay for your website each month? I mean, the thing is, she's a 7-figure earner for one of our major companies that you guys would know the name of. She's blown away with what we have. And so again, when you get out of the bubble, you realize some of us are complaining about Modere with, well, they did this. Well, they did this. Well, I'm just going to wait until they fix it. And I'm just as guilty. So I'm taking the mickey out of me. But the reality is, a top leader would say, grow up and go lead the group. Don't wait for someone to fix something. Get a strategy and implement it. Like, there was just such cool, just straightforward, like, this is how you build an empire. And taking the emotion out and taking some of the excuses out. It was just so cool. So again, I was so proud to be there as Modere. Margie was up there a couple times. They had the first ever millionaire inductee Hall of Fame kind of thing. That means people who have been certified of earning currently $1 million or more a year. So they had, there must have been 4 dozen up there that got beautiful trophies and bouquets. And what that meant for me was, and for like BettyAnne, and I know Donna, is they're like, okay, I'll be up there one day. I mean, it gave you something to fix your eyes on. Like maybe you may or may not train, but you know what? If I can prove one day a 7-figure on a 1099, they'll verify it, I'll be up there. So I think that's important to have, things to stretch to. That was really inspiring. And of course, Margie was the first one across. And then the training that Margie did was outstanding, but you just heard these different personalities. Like Margie was off the hook. Margie is like a little Energizer bunny. And the next gal had a very powerful story. She was extremely calm, told about her life. And she said, I was one of those stay-at-home moms. I was a single mom and I was struggling, and no one ever invited me to a party. No one ever invited me to look at a catalog or to get on a webinar. Like back then it was home parties, but she didn't start her career until she was 42. And trust me, she wasn't like, Miss America either. She was very, very just normal American woman, just very normal. She had a traumatic marriage. She went broke. She had death in her family. And then she decided and she was introduced and she's a top earner. So it was just off the charts. Like there's not like, okay, only pretty people can be millionaires. There wasn't any of that. They also had a husband and wife panel, which was very interesting for so many of the people who do this business together. So I walked out of there, and when it started on Sunday, I thought to myself, I don't know if I can stay through the day. I got to get out of here. I mean, I was so ready to go on Sunday morning. But like I said, there's just nothing that I've experienced. Maybe I was just like I said, I felt like a desert going in, and now I feel like the fountain of youth and the Garden of Eden. I just feel like so renewed and just like an ocean ready to go flow after that. But please just don't ever deny yourself what you need. If you're saying to yourself, well, I can't afford it. Like BettyAnne said, find a way. You have until next December if it's GoPro. If you're going to do the women's event in April, you have now until then. Challenge yourself. Figure out how much it's going to take for you to go. I would say my trip was probably $2,500, maybe two, right? If I think about my airfare, my VIP was $750. BettyAnne and I were really good. We didn't eat a lot, but and then we had a lot of food included, and we had the hotel and some incidentals, but I would say maybe $2,000. But so next year, if it's going to cost you $2,000, you want to be VIP with your top people, like flanked here, because again, the experience is completely different when you're in the front in the upper echelon, about 200 people. Now you know how much you got to grow your business and make it like your standard, like expect it. So I did this event that I'm doing in August for 5 days, and I dropped $10,000 on it. Okay. I've never done that in my life without blinking an eye. And it's not like you say, well, Anna, you must have it. I have a kid in boarding school graduating. The whole family is going down there. I have off the charts other bills, medical bills, another kid in private school, college starting. I mean, it's not like I can just drop it, right? So I had to really think to myself, and I said, okay, you're going to be at your game, the top of your game by the time you get into that event. Like it's showtime now. And when you get to that event, that's going to be your new baseline, and you're going to let Eric Worre and whatever transpires in that deep dive for 5 days take you to your new destination for your new height. Like it's not the lid, but I have work to do between now and then. And I tell my husband, you will definitely see it between now and then. That's not even how can you put a cost on your net worth throughout the course of this life, let alone this business? So anyway, that's my 2 cents. It was joyful. It was beautiful. I wish more of you were there, but at the same time, it just means it wasn't your time if you weren't there. And I didn't push it for everybody because I had never been to it. So, and we have events coming up, and our events are going to be off the charts. We've got some of the most amazing leaders. In fact, more people said to me, you've got some amazing leaders at Modere. I'm like, yeah, I know we do. I mean, and they're still coming in. Lisa Cox is onboarding some peeps right now, and I'm not going to tell you where they're from, but she's got some, serious stars coming on and studettes joining the business right now through this month. They're coming through the doors still to Modere. That should be a clue. So let's talk about how we can get our heads back in relaunch mode. I'm doing it right now. Are you going to do 2 a day? If you're not doing any prospecting a day, I'd say start with 2 a day. If you are so pissed off right now at yourself and you say, okay, between now and the end of this month, I'm going to give myself a window 5 days a week. I'm going to do 7 a day. Again, with you guys, I think one of the things about this event was we heard like what's possible. I mean, I felt like such a novice in so many ways. There was a woman there who's in 60,000 Facebook groups. She's the one earning 2.4 million a year. How do you even keep track of 1,000 Facebook groups, let alone 60,000? I don't know, but there was just a myriad of ways people have figured out, because they want it badly enough, to build their business and to get the word out and provide value to people and get into conversation, relationship. We have that platform. It's just a matter of focusing, getting really serious, setting yourself a benchmark. Again, what's that system? You can't just be open-ended about the system and say, we have all this, but I'm not doing anything proactively to bring people to the information or to bring my information to people. You have to have a benchmark. 2 a day is the minimum. And remaking that list. If this is your list right now, right now you're out of business. But that's the beautiful thing about network marketing. We can hit the refresh button and start tomorrow morning, or start tonight. You can start right now, and tomorrow's a new day to say, okay, game on. I think that's how Donna, myself, and Brett and BettyAnne felt coming out of there. We felt like we just hit the refresh button and we're starting again, just with new concepts, ideas, strategies, goals, and a relentlessness that, you know what, we're not going to get in our own way. Not now. It's too precious what's happening in the industry and what's about to happen with Modere. So I hope I didn't give you guys too much and dump on you. It was great.
Thank you, Anna, so much. It had to have been. I mean, you probably have hours and hours worth of content to give us, for sure. And we'll definitely continue this.
Didn't I just do that? Did I just give you an hour? Well, I knew Donna wasn't on, so I had to kind of fill for Donna as well. But I love you guys. I'm excited to see you in Vancouver.
And I just want to tell everybody real quick before you jump off. So you guys, like Anna said, Sarah Zalecki is Eric Worre's cousin, right? So we've got a great inroad. And I just talked to Sarah right before this call. And she's got several blocks of tickets to sell us for $250 each for next year's conference. So you guys, next year's conference is April 27th through 29th. And if anybody's ever wanted to go to Paris before, well, you can go to the next best thing. It's going to be at the Paris Hotel in Vegas, which is a wonderful casino and resort. So that alone should get you there. But it's like $100 savings to get it through this block of tickets. So she only has so many. So what I want you guys to do is you can PayPal her the money. If you're interested in going, go ahead and send Sarah a message on Facebook. Use Messenger on Facebook, okay? And just tell her, I'm all in and I'm buying my ticket, and tell her when. Like if you're waiting for payday or whatever it is, if you're buying it now, then you guys go to PayPal, and I'm going to give you her email address so you can find her PayPal account, all right? It is S as in Sarah, D as in dog, Zolecki, Zolecki @yahoo.com. So sdzolecki@yahoo.com. That's her PayPal account. $250. Like I said, it's $100 savings off the current price right now. And we'll get a block of seats that way, you guys. So I encourage you to do that as soon as possible. As soon as you buy your ticket or you've messaged Sarah, send me a message, because I want to recognize people on our team page as they buy their tickets so we can create some energy about them.
Can I just say that the first, BettyAnne, you have some of these too. So let's divide this up. If you're on a bombshell team, how many of these did you get? 3 or 4? BettyAnne?
I have about 6 of them.
Okay, the first 6 to do this on Team Bombshell, BettyAnne's going to give you, I just did this for you, Betty. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
She's going to give you the program of this year's. And I have 3 here. So the first 3 on Tracy, Janine's team, who outside of the Bombshells, who reserved their tickets. I've got 3. Network Marketing Pro, Living the Impossible, Powerful Women workbooks. I'll make sure you get these. So again, you have to commit to Sarah, and then let us know, and Tracy will let me know. I have 3, BettyAnne has 6.
Yeah, you might even just include me in the message to Sarah so that I know that you've done that. Even if you can't buy it today, let her know that you're going and when you plan to buy your ticket. So that would be great, so we can get you on the list to go with us. All right, and you can, because it's Marge and Sarah and Ann and all of us, the company's not going to book. Schedule an event that same weekend for sure, right? So you guys, thank you so much for getting on. It was a long call, but such valuable information, and we're excited. So thanks for sharing your excitement with us, ladies, and we'll get more of this training as time goes on in these team Zooms, okay? So anything else? Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Brett. Thanks, BettyAnne. And we'll get Donna on a future call. We're going to give her a whole hour to herself, okay? All right. Bye, guys.